Hi, I'm Eric Foxman, Balanced Personal Training. Today I want to take a few minutes to answer 5 common questions that I have been asked for the last 22 plus years working as a personal trainer. So I'm going to just jump into it right here. The first one is probably the most common question that I get, and it says, how fast can I lose weight? Or, how many pounds per week could I lose weight? Now, usually, a trainer will say, well, if we do the math, 1 pound equals 3,500 calories. So by increasing your workouts and eating a little bit less, 3,500, people get really mathematical. Well, if we were all totally logical, the world would be a very different place. When someone asks me that question, it isn't so much, can I lose 1, 2, 3 pounds a week? It's more, how much discomfort do I need to experience for how long? Do I need to spend 6 weeks being uncomfortable? Do I need to spend 6 months being uncomfortable? And what you need to think about is, you might be 40, 50 something years old and really have spent the last 20, 30 years steadily putting on weight. And yes, you can lose weight pretty fast. I would say 10 pounds in a month to lose is not an unreasonable or an unhealthy amount to lose. Usually, 1, 2 pounds a week, I think that's unbelievably doable without having to do a huge amount of activity, and you wouldn't need to make major changes to your eating. So truly, if 1 pound is 3,500 calories and you want to lose 1 pound a week, you have to find a way to burn an extra 500 calories a day. So if that was eating 250 calories less and then doing 250 calories of activity a day, well, that's your 500 a day times 7. So mathematically, you should lose a pound a week with that equation. But it's more about, like I was saying, about discomfort. And oh gosh, I have to go without, what type of workouts do I have to do? And I just remind people that it takes time to develop habits. It takes time to develop skills. Like I was saying a minute ago, if you have spent the last 20 or 30 years with poor eating habits, not making it a habit to go exercise or go to the gym or do some type of sports, just staying physically active, you have to remember that it's not just about getting to your goal weight, but it's about maintaining it and living a healthy lifestyle. Because you might have a wedding, you might have a 30th high school reunion coming up really soon. Well, that's great, feel good, look good, you get into your outfit or your dress or whatever, but you want to use that as a starting off point to get the next goal, or just to stay healthy and maintain it for whatever the next occasion is. So again, how fast can I lose weight? I can be very logical and talk about calories and weight loss, but I think it's really more about, understanding yourself, how quickly or how slowly you learn things, because different people will hit their goals at different rates. And we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to, I have a friend and she works in the office down the hall and she lost 20 pounds this month. Well, I don't know if that's a safe thing to be trying to achieve, because people who often lose weight fast will put the weight on fast again, because again, it's habits, it's skills, and it's also getting your body comfortable at a certain weight. So that's question 1. Number 2 is, and it kind of dovetails from the first question, is do I have to give up wine and chocolate to achieve my health and fitness goals? And again, that's more of that, how uncomfortable do I need to be to get into shape or to achieve my health and fitness goals? I really don't believe you need to give up anything. Now, before you start going, what? I didn't say that you're going to be drinking 2 bottles of wine and having a pound of chocolate a day, okay? But if you had a glass of wine every day, that's fine. If you had a little square of chocolate, that's great. I really believe that once we start going in that direction of limiting and constraining and saying, oh, this is all the bad stuff, then you're going to want those things. So there's no reason why you can't have a glass of wine, you can't have a bit of chocolate. But the other part of that question is the investment part. And that kind of, along with question one, how much time, how much effort, how much money, are you hiring a personal trainer? And are you seeing that trainer 2-3 times a week? Are you going to join a gym? And these things take a certain amount of time, a certain amount of money. And like I talked about earlier, there is a certain amount of time that you need to invest in developing new new skills. Let's say you said, okay, one of my goals is to improve in my tennis game. Okay, you guys know I like tennis, so that's a good example. And you're currently a 3-5 tennis player and you want to get to 4-0, which is a USTA ranking. And you've kind of been at 3-5 for a while. Well, if you've maintained 3-5 for a while, you're obviously not progressing. So in order to get to 4-0, you got to stretch yourself. Probably need to hire a tennis pro or start playing with other players who are much better than you. So it'll push you. You don't want to play down. You always want to play up. Well, same thing with losing weight. Maybe you have been at a certain weight for a number of years, or maybe you have been steadily putting on weight for a number of years. So what you need to do is figure out a way to go in the other direction, and that takes a certain amount of time. Is it easy? There's that saying, oh, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Well, that's not necessarily true. Some people don't do stuff because they're lazy, okay? So when it comes to what you're willing to invest, where that question is coming from is some people in their mind think that they have to invest thousands of dollars. They have to, start buying everything organic, hire a personal trainer. Yes, hiring a personal trainer would be good. Eating organic is really good for you, but you don't need to do it all at once. And you need to give yourself time to develop those skills and learn. Number 3, what is the best type of workout that you can do? Such a loaded question because there's no answer. If there's a CrossFit guy sitting next to me, he'd be like, oh, CrossFit's the best, man, look at these people. And if I had a person doing yoga over here, they would be like, oh, lengthen and strengthen and, connect with the earth. And well, that's great. Part of it is you need to experiment and try different activities. I have said for years, the best workout routine for you is whatever activity or activities you enjoy doing that you're good at and you're going to do for the long term. And they're fun. If I said, for example, that powerlifting was the best thing for you, which it isn't, because you see these guys getting bicep tears and pec tears and herniated discs all over the place. But you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into one thing. It's good to do a variety of exercises. And part of that is assigning a certain intensity to your workouts. I don't believe that you need to be training balls out 100% all the time, because if you do that in any sport, in any type of exercise, you're just increasing your chances of injury. And it just really becomes a matter of time that you train at a high level that you're going to be injured. I'm more of a, 60 to 80% sort of guy. And as a personal trainer, I've observed that when people do that, they do hit goals and yet they stay injury free. Because how would you like to go and you hit your goal, but now you're injured and now you have to rehab? And then you hit a goal and then you get injured and now you have to rehab. Now you've got 2 injuries that, depending on the weather, you might be getting weird cramps, all that kind of stuff. So with that question, the best type of workout, I think, is an activity or a group of activities that are fun for you, that have a lot of variety, and that you're going to do. If you find that there's a class you're taking at a gym or whatever and you're not excited about it, maybe it's just kind of the jitters of maybe being in a class, other people. But I would say if you're doing something long enough and you're like, I'm not really having fun, maybe it's time to try something different. And that's why it's good to have a variety of things. Number 4, how do I make adjustments to my workouts as I get older or if I've had injuries? Well, like I said with number 3, with the best type of workout, it's experimenting, being willing to try stuff. I mean, I think in your head you should already eliminate certain activities. For example, let's say you're like, well, my knees, I've had injuries over the years or what have you. So the idea of doing plyometrics and ballistic type movements, jumping off of plyometric boxes and things like that. Some people say, well, yeah, but you can really strengthen your legs. Yeah, but if you've already had setbacks and knee injuries, there are other movements, other activities that you could be doing to strengthen your legs. You could be doing straight leg raises, forward flexion, hip extension, where you're working the muscles around the knee without actually working the knee. So making adjustments, I put with age and injuries, but also you can put in there with preferences, okay? Don't feel like you have to do certain exercises to achieve a certain look or whatever goals. Just be reasonable with what your goals are, and then say, okay, gosh, I'm noticing now that I'm 60 compared to when I'm 30, it takes me a lot longer to recover from going for a long walk or what have you. So then within that, just make your adjustments and say, okay, maybe instead of going for an hour-long walk, I'll go for a 40-minute walk. Things like that. Last question, and this is really a big one, and it's how do I stay motivated? And people say, well, it's got to be the dream, man. You got to stay focused, laser beam on the goals. Right, but sometimes that could be exhausting, especially if your big goal is several years down the line. So part of it is taking that goal and breaking it up into little smaller, more attainable goals. So you might have a goal that's 5 years out, and then you say, okay, maybe then this will be my goal in the next year. This will be my goal in the next 6 months. This will be my goal in the next 2 months. And then you are jumping and propelling yourself from goal to goal, which is moving you forward towards that big goal. My opinion about staying motivated is, again, having fun. If you're doing something, let's say you're just trying to get stronger. You might not know, is it a weight that you want to lift or what have you. You're just like, hey, I'd like to develop some more muscle tone, get a little bit leaner. Well, working out with somebody is one of the best things. For years, I'd work out with roommates in college or when I lived at home, maybe one of my brother's friends, and it's great because you have that accountability and you get to breathe for a second because you're spotting someone else or you're maybe giving someone else a bit of advice. And that's great because if it's just you, it can kind of get a little bit lonely to be motivated. It's like, okay, why am I doing this? Being part of a team, part of improving, like I was saying, I'm kind of a tennis sort of guy, and for a little while I was playing league tennis, and I knew that my performance impacted the team. Whether I was playing doubles, okay, so right there, or if I was playing singles. If I was playing singles, I better get the win, or else my team is down already in our matches. So those are things that you want to think about as far as how to stay motivated. Like I said, I really think the best thing that you can do is, work with a trainer, or if you can't do that and you're going to the gym, find someone at the gym, or find someone at work and meet up with them. And that'll really make it a lot more fun because really it's the journey. That's so cliche, but it's totally true. It's the journey that is the reward. You might go and get on that scale or have a photo taken where you look good, but it's the feeling that you've been having of accomplishing over all this time leading up to that wedding, high school reunion, whatever it might be. So that's how you stay motivated. So with that, those are 5 questions. If you have questions, always feel free to contact me at balancepersonaltraining.com, and I will talk to you soon.